Listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Very superstitious. The devil's on his way.
Oh, it is 9:19. Welcome back to Our Daily Show. It's a Monday in downtown Alton on this 24th day of July. Addis, Justin, and Jacob.
Yep.
Look at that. It's 9 o'clock and I haven't messed up yet. Look at that. How's everything going today, guys?
Pretty good.
Going all right, yep.
So recently we had a press release come out, maybe about a month or two, not a month ago, close to it, where you guys presented some of your research on bush honeysuckle. Now, where did you guys present this to?
To the Illinois chapter of the Wildlife Society in Champaign, Illinois, just up there, about 4 hours up north.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Now, right off the bat, guys, take us through, this just quick research and nutshell kind of overview it for us and let us know what this all was about.
Do you want to start on yours?
You got
okay.
it. Yeah.
So my research is like removal techniques for honeysuckle.
Uh-huh.
So we're studying this lance, which is about a 4-foot long pole. You fill it with capsules with chemicals, and you inject these capsules into the bark, so you're not overspraying or going onto other native plants. So after that, the honeysuckle will take up the chemicals and hopefully kill it. So we're studying the effectiveness of that.
Well, right off the bat, too, honeysuckle is the biggest pain in the ass, I think, in the history of this world.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I don't know about you guys, I used to live right there on the bluffs, where the cross is, and there was honeysuckle everywhere. So as kids, you thought, oh yeah, and you'll pick it off, and take the stem, and then you find the little bit of honey or whatever's on there. But man, just to get rid of that, once it's there, it's almost impossible to get rid of.
Right.
Exactly.
And now, is that the big reason? How'd you guys get into the study of honeysuckle? Was that just something that was a project? Was that something you guys were interested in? How'd that work?
Well, when I first got there, Justin, he manages a strike team, which is contracted to go remove honeysuckle from all these areas.
Oh.
And so I went out with him a few times, and Jacob used to work for him, actually. I went out with him a few times, and we used chainsaws and then painting the stumps with chemicals. Hard work. We took all day. It sucked. And I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. So that's why I'm researching that.
Right on. And Justin, let me throw you in here real quick, man. If you could, so whenever you're going through this and you have a strike team, what are some of the operations you have to kind of perimeter, the land or the landscape you're going to start with? Because it seems like once honeysuckle starts, it's just all going to start, it's all done.
Yeah, so the strike team does a lot of that work. I'm kind of from the management aspect, but yeah, they have specific properties they work on that are under contract. We have multiple partners they work with. So, for instance, we work with some of the state parks. So the strike team has gone to Pure Marquette State Park, and so they have the managers there have like specific areas they want us to focus on. So, yeah.
Wow. And now, so take me through, what was the hardest part of going through and getting rid of some of this junk? Because it seems like this was an all-day process.
It is. It is a very strenuous all-day process. So yeah, I started working with the strike team when I first started getting into my college career and just getting the work and getting experience I needed. And yeah, it's depending on the season, there's different types of management, but during the summertime, like right now, the main thing is just backpack spraying and spot spraying these leaves. So you're out there climbing these ridges and hills all day with 4 gallons of herbicide in your bag, eradicating the species.
Wow. And now, whenever you're looking at this, because just with certain sprays, I'm sure you got to, look for, what other plants are around it. Can that spray be used for it? Take us through your research. So at one point in time do you go, all right, now it's time to start unpacking this and see what really works?
Yeah. So that's the big thing about doing this type of invasive removal. You want to go and see it doing recon and see what's actually working in these areas.
Right.
And also you don't want to overspray these areas too, as well, affecting all the native species that are underneath these honeysuckle bushes at the same time. So it is just a lot of trying to by ear, trying to figure out what's working on these sites at best.
What did you guys find worked best for this area? Does it depend on the soil too and the air, or does that come into play?
I think a lot of it depends really on the site. So if it's really infested, you can do maybe a little overspraying. If someone drips on the ground, it's not the end of the world. But if you're in a really pristine area like some of the hill prairies the strike team works on, you have to be very careful with your overspray.
Yeah.
So really, it is kind of context dependent on what type of tools you use. And
Really
things like
cool.
that, so.
So how long did it take for you guys to do your research? I mean, it seems like you can't just, and my dad's a microbiologist and he always tells me, I always think it's funny. I think, an experiment lasts, like my science fair, a couple hours, we're done. Good,
Yeah.
good. Let's go get some lunch. But this takes some time. How long did this guy take you?
So I'm actually doing a different kind of research
Yeah.
project from Addis.
Oh, okay.
So,
Still on honeysuckle.
but still on honeysuckle,
Okay.
which is the main broad topic. So in the very beginning in 2021, my research started by one of the ways to combat honeysuckle is using aerial spraying from helicopters or planes to get rid of this species of mass infestations in some areas where you can't really get good access to go down and cut manually. And using this aerial spraying is a lot more cost effective, a lot less manpower. So mine was, what do these aerial spraying do an effect of the wildlife and game management in these areas that are getting aerial sprayed? And it's like we had to use and kind of just quantitative how much honeysuckle are in these areas, and that's what just going out and collecting all this data on honeysuckle and how much in these areas.
That's really cool because it seems like there's a lot of landscape here that it's almost too thick to go into
Exactly.
at certain points. And then whenever you're looking at that, how dangerous is it? Whenever you're spraying to make sure that you have the right chemicals. How much how big the perimeter is. What do you take that into your data too?
Not for when we're just going on the spraying.
Yeah,
not
like from
exactly.
aerial base, like from
aerial.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think they usually have some type of buffer because there is drift, so they don't want to spray right into like the border. So I think
Also,
Yeah.
very weather dependent. You got to see how the weather's acting that very day too. You can't have high winds over 7 miles, 10 miles per hour.
Well, that's what I think's fascinating about this because the things that I would never even think of, wind or how much sun's out, what all of that really comes into play whenever you start, spraying from up high. And how high up in the air are we spraying for the air from the aerial?
It's more localized, so
Okay.
especially they do have sprays of helicopters too to get more of
Okay.
that
That's
localized
right, yeah.
spot spraying in these Pierre Marquette sites. But also you got to take advantage of honeysuckle's extended leaf phenology, so it actually stays green longer than all the native vegetation. So you can spray on down this honeysuckle when it's the
all
only.
the oaks and hickories
All the
drop
oaks.
drop their leaves, so you can actually spray the green honeysuckle below in the fall if the conditions are just
Conditions are right, yeah. So there's
You
a
have
very
like
small
a
time window.
1 to 2 week window
Yeah,
to get it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So how crucial is that 1 or 2 week window? Because it seems like that's your chance, and if not, you're going to have a huge issue, regardless going into that next season.
Yeah.
Right.
So with that, I got to ask, whenever you're going through this, and you're looking, is there any good positive to honeysuckle?
Originally it was brought into. It's an invasive species from Asia.
Right.
And it was brought into the United States for erosion control and wildlife habitat.
For roach control?
Erosion control.
Oh, erosion.
Yeah. So just not extra root base in that ground level.
Yeah.
Just keep help from erosion, but. Ultimately, there's not many good aspects of it. Yeah. So
I always wondered that because, they always say, well, no, there's always a pro and con to everything. And it's like, wasp, honeysuckle.
Yeah.
I don't see very many.
over time, the cons outweigh the pros way heavily.
Exactly. And now, whenever you guys can find a way to combat this, how beneficial will it be for the region? Because it seems like a lot of, especially if you go down my woods, it's all honeysuckle.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's pretty much taken over. How beneficial for the environment could it be for all of the, I mean, not all of it, because it's going to take a long time.
Well, what we found so far in my study is that the areas that we've injected the honeysuckle and killed them, there's like higher plant diversity and species richness in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So more native plants are growing. There's going to be higher biodiversity, which in turn would lead to more animal diversity also. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And how long does it take to replenish something that, I mean, I hate to throw this out there, it's just a thought because it really devastates a landscape, it seems
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
I mean, it must take a couple of years, I would assume, to get that, to regrow the way it should, make sure no more honeysuckle is going to keep growing over the top of it. And when you're spraying or when you're painting or utilizing your methods, how do you guys have to go back over it, each year to make sure it's not going to keep growing back?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you have to follow up.
a lot of follow up.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I think the goal, like with a lot of this management, is eventually just to manage with fire if you're able
Yeah.
to, and you have a big enough property, but still then you have to go back and do some spot spraying or maybe use the lands with, what Addis is studying as well. So
Yeah. Right on. It's 9:20. I got to pay some bills. It's 9:29. We're going to take a quick break, but we aren't going anywhere. We got some more questions, some more conversations with the gang, Justin, Addis, and Jacob, right here on our daily show. And it's 9:29 in downtown Alton.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you. For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
9:31 on this 24th day of July. Good morning. Happy, is it the last week of July? Second to last?
Second to last. Close. It's close.
Second to last. I hope it's the second to last. I want to squeeze in another paycheck. No, it's not. It's the last week. We're talking to NGRECC, Addis, Justin, and Jacob. We're talking about some really great research with bush honeysuckle. I think it's all of our friends. I think we all like bush honeysuckle. I think it's great. No, I'm just kidding. It's terrible, and it's one of those things where I didn't tell you guys this story. My grandpa had this burning bush, and he was really proud of it. And he kept, oh man, look how big this bush is getting. And I went, well, Grandpa, half the leaves are a different color, and they're a different shape. I don't think that's all the bush, Well, it turns out the honeysuckle was growing into like halfway in the middle of this bush to where it looked like it was part of the bush. And then there was birds living in it, everything. He goes to trim it. He goes, all right, I got to trim this thing. Richard, his neighbor, was giving him crap. And half the bush came down because it was all honeysuckle. Right when he cut it, half the honeysuckle went with it. But with that, Addis, take me through your research, just like a more definitive, a conversation on your research, because this is interesting. Take me through, your process, what this was all about, and detail it for us.
Okay. So it's been going on for about a year now. Mm-hmm. So last fall, we decided to set up our plots in the Lewis and Clark woods. So there's a ton of honeysuckle back there if you go back past the restoration area. So we set up 10 plots with 40 different subplots overall. Mm-hmm. And within each subplot, we gave it a different treatment. So we would inject the honeysuckle in the plot with the lance, and then we would seed also. So we would take a native seed mix and spread it around the subplot.
What's that native seed mix look like, if you don't mind?
So it's river oats, black-eyed Susan, and northern spicebush.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just like a flower, a grass, and a forb, pretty much. Yeah.
Really cool.
So then we did one that we just injected, and then we did one that we just seeded, and then one we left alone. And so
for your control?
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so Now we've just been collecting like vegetation data in the subplots. We're collecting like alive or dead honeysuckle numbers to see how effective the injections were. And so we're going to recollect some more biomass on the honeysuckle, and then we should hopefully have everything we need for a paper.
And now, right off the bat, is there anything that you're kind of noticing from your 4 sections or your sections there?
Yeah, the winter injection and the fall seeding subplot, that seems to be, the combination of those two together seems to be the best at restoring the natural habitat.
Really?
Yeah, so far.
Wow.
Yep.
And now, in terms of, and just what you can see, and I'm not an expert on this, so if you want to laugh at me, make fun of me, please do. Are you seeing to where the honeysuckle is still coming back, or is it gone?
So 75%. So this is some of the data we just collected. 75% of the honeysuckle that we injected is completely dead.
Wow.
No growth. But 25% of it, they're not sprouting leaves or anything or growing new sticks, but they have a little tiny green growth that comes out of their bark, and so we have to consider it alive.
Wow.
By that, yeah.
That's really fascinating. And what are you thinking, after you're seeing this? Is it one of those things to where this mix is something you can start looking into more, or this combination?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It would be useful for like the strike team to use. Just to see if like volunteer groups could use it, because when you're using chainsaws and chemical sprays, you need a herbicide license and you need to know how to use a chainsaw, obviously.
Well, that's a good point. That disqualifies about 90% of this town. I've seen you guys use one.
So with the lance, you don't need any sort of license or anything like that, and it's just push of your arms. That's it.
Man, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking, you gotta. For me, I always think dumb it down for CJ. Make it so if CJ can use it, and that seems like if anyone wants to volunteer or help out, clean up some green space. I know there's so many organizations that are trying to restore their habitats. This is a great way to start doing that.
Right.
Man,
right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was there any hurdle in this or anything that happened that you thought, man, I really wasn't planning on this?
Not really. It's gone pretty smoothly, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Jacob, take me through yours.
So I started with NGRECC, the internship opportunity around summer 2021. And then my most recent project is kind of like a branch off project from that previous one I did. And to get the data on the aerial spraying that we needed to go out and collect a mass vegetation index data on this honeysuckle.
What is that, if you don't mind me asking?
So going out to these plots that we made, and we have a 6x5 meter square plot, and we kind of collect how much honeysuckle is in these little areas, and then kind of ultimately quantify it over a whole area. And that just takes a lot of time and a lot of manpower going out, because one 6x5 meter plot, for example, had like around 50 to 60 stems of honeysuckle in it. Just a 6.5 meter plot. So that's a lot of
field work.
A lot of field work. Yeah. A lot of manpower, a lot of time.
Sweating in the field.
Exactly. So we just thought, how can we make this process of collection way easier for just a single organization or a single person trying to do this on their own studies and everything. And so we found this program called Google Earth Engine. It's a free online program that utilizes geospatial and satellite imagery, remote sensing satellite images. And using honeysuckle's extended leaf phenology, we can kind of create a vegetation index from these satellite images on a certain period of time to kind of quantify how much honeysuckle is actually spreading or how much is in certain areas.
Wow.
Yeah, so you don't have to go out and collect all this data. We can have it just using, for the amount of collated data we need to collect from my first project, it took about, say, 10 people across a whole year of time, and I got the same kind of numbers, correlation, and the same plots within a month just by myself using this program.
That is incredible.
It's a lot. For a free program, it's pretty powerful, utilizing remote sensing and satellite images.
Wow.
This, yeah.
Well, and it seems like, the two projects, the two research go hand in hand, because you're identifying how much is there, and then you have the combination, that formula, to where you can get some volunteers out there and really help combat this.
Exactly.
That is impressive.
Yep.
Well, I made my own egos today. I just forgot what the hell they were called, too. That is really impressive. And now, whenever you're going through this, were there any hiccups that you had?
Yeah, using this program, it's a JavaScript coding-based program to use and manipulate the data and images to make these.
Wow.
So yeah, learning the program.
Learning the program was a big learning curve. Yeah.
So you're doing coding in this too.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of coding.
I just sent Jacob and like, you gotta figure. I don't have time.
Mike, I don't know if you're watching. We have our engineer upstairs, Mike, who does so much with RiverBender, does all the coding. Have you ever done some, what do you call it? Agricultural coding?
More of the ecological coding.
Ecological coding. I like that. That's a good shirt.
Yeah,
that's a good shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's fascinating. And is it one of those that you guys can build off of these research projects into other ones too? Have you guys thought that far down the road yet on this?
Yeah, me and Justin have definitely talked about allowing this research to continue a couple years down the road just to see what the long-term effects of like our treatments are for this honeysuckle, to see if we need follow-up or work like that.
And then Jacob?
For right now, we're going to continue on the next semester, hopefully, to get some more practice, some more trials in with this program, because it would be very beneficial to land managers and any other organization trying to combat this species in this
I just want to let everyone know that I had Jacob and Addis on my show first, okay? Had them on first. And Justin. Can't forget about you, Justin. Well, and this is what I think so fascinating, because this is a problem that's really devastated a lot of the region. And is it one of those, and just, help me out here, because I always wanted to know this about honeysuckle. Is it only our region that's impacted here in this region of the Midwest, or is it all throughout?
It started in New York, and it's all the eastern side.
Wow. It goes up into Canada too. Yeah.
So it's a pretty bad problem.
Very bad problem. Yeah.
So nothing, no lands, so there's really nothing for this to get taken out with, huh? Mm-hmm. Wow, there's our sports guy telling me to hurry up. With that being said, I wanted to ask you, Justin, really quick, because this is a great program. My dad has been out in the trails at Lewis and Clark, and he's just been bragging about it, because he goes, man, those NGRECC guys are out there, and girls, and they're really putting in the work, and telling me through some of the things you guys are doing, and he loves cutting down the honeysuckle, don't you, Dad? Take us through, Justin, how we can learn more about the internship program, what it's all about, because this is something that's very beneficial for the environment and for us as students.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that our organization, the Natural Great Rivers Research Education Center, also known as NGRECC, we are affiliated with Lewis and Clark Community College, so sometimes it gets confusing. But to get more information, you would just go to our website, ngrec.org. You can call the number down on the website or try to contact Amy Monroe. And we now have a year-long internship that Jacob and Addis took advantage of, and then for me, it's also been great. So the students can really sink their teeth into the their research versus in the past we've just had a summer long, and it's very abbreviated. It's a great experience.